Hi, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. I'm here by my side door of my office in front of the climbing hydrangea. Smells really good here. It's been a while since I've been on. Um, as you all know, or most of you probably know at this point, that we had to put our dog Boo down. He lost his capacity to use his back legs. He was a full blooded shepherd, German shepherd, and it's not unusual. In fact, um, his sister Gretchen, it wasn't actually his sister, just his sort of like, you know, they were dogs together, so we'd call them each other brother and sister. They came from different litters. She was three years older than Boo. I lost her last year for pretty much the same reason. And for those of you who know and who have shepherds, it's a chance that you take with them, but they're worth every moment. I mean, they are the best. I mean, I love all dogs. I used to date a guy who had a Newfie, Caesar. Oh my God, I loved Caesar. He loved me. He would follow me like a little gooseling, except that he was like 180 pounds. Uh, he's so cute. Um, but whatever the dog is, whatever the breed, I love them all. Um, Gretchen was my first actual dog. I'm a great dog lover, but I grew up in the city, and my parents were not dog people, and so I didn't really get a dog until I had a house. And when you're self-employed, sometimes it takes a while to get a house. So we got Gretchen, and then 3 years later, we got Boo. Um, we got Gretchen in '05 and Boo in '08. So. 2008, 2005. So I miss them every day. I really do. But you can sense them here. You can feel them. I see them all the time in my mind's eye. Um, Whenever I go to hug my husband, Boo used to always come between us to be part of the love fest, as it were. And so every time I go to hug him, I feel Boo between us. So it's pretty cool. But I do miss him, and we need to sort of settle down before we consider getting another puppy. We still have a kitty. We still have Charlie, the black cat, and we still have Apollo, the macaw, who will probably live to 80. So we're gonna have him for a long time. So that's enough about me. So sorry about that. I know some people are like, "Hey, stop talking about yourself." Some people want to know. So for those of you who wanted to know what was going on, I told you. I'm a little disheveled. I was just mowing the lawn down here in the bottom of the yard. So sorry about my crazy curly Puerto Rican hair. Okay, so I thought I would do a reading on whether or not these protests were going to change anything for Black America. We've had protests before. Each time, I think we do get a little bit closer. Um, and I think that we all have a better understanding of what Black people face in America. I think a lot of people just didn't know, quite frankly, maybe didn't care to know. Certainly, the information was out there if you wanted to seek it out. But I think that everything sort of reveals itself in the time that is ready to reveal itself. So let's see what if we're going to really see any change for the Black and Brown community through the unfortunate death of George Floyd, and then the what's the word I'm looking for? The protests. There's a word in between that. I can't think of it. The not proceeding. Well, anyway, the protests. Okay. All right. So we have the world card here. So the world card is a card about endings. Sorry, I'm trying to get you to see this. I really should probably be doing this inside, but it's such a lovely day. Um, so the world card is about ending. So this says to me that there is a uh, a part of this or a point where we have come to an end of something. Now let's see what is okay. So what's crossing it is the 5 of swords. Um, it's this is the end of an era, but those who are perpetrating are not going to give up that easily. They're not going to give up that easily. They're going to continue to be cruel. We're going to continue to see, I think, cruelty, unfortunately, against black and brown people. Um, but of course, I mean, perhaps the only people who think it would change that quickly are white people. But I think black and brown people probably, um, know just, they know what they're up against. Let's see what's at the root of this. Okay, the Ace of Cups. Oops, can you see this? Oh, goodness gracious. You cannot see this at all, can you? At least I can't see it. There we go. All right. I did it. Yay! The Ace of Cups. There we go. So let me just show you these cards again because now you can see them, I think. This is the first card that came up. Maybe you still can't see them. The World, crossed by the Five of Swords, and at the root of this is the Ace of Cups. So this really says to me that there's an emotional shift, an emotional change. Um, the Ace of Cups is about an overflow of emotions, right? And so we have this overflow of emotions. Generally, the Ace of Cups is a happy card, but I think in this case, it's not that it's not a happy card, but it symbolizes all of the grief and all of the emotions and all of the feelings that have sort of come to the surface. And part of the deal now in this era is that um, no matter how hard you try, you can't hide anything. So everything comes out. If George Floyd's death hadn't been on a video, if somebody hadn't videotaped it, um, we may have never known what happened. We may have, may not have even made the evening news. And so there's this energy of everything is out in the open, and people make their decisions, and you can't stop people from feeling what they're feeling. And we have an an overabundance of both grief, but of compassion. The Ace of Cups is compassion. So this has really changed things. This card, the Ace of Cups, in the system that I use is a 5 vibration. It's a 41-5 vibration. The 5 is about change. 5 is about change. The question with 5 is, are we going to ascend or are we going to descend? Let's see the past. Okay, we have the 3 of Pentacles. So my first thought was Martin Luther King. I've been to the top of the mountain and I have seen. He was a Capricorn, so this is a hard fought battle. Um, the of Pentacles is about um, foundations and having worked really, really hard and to be good at something. But it's also the moneyed few. It's also money, right? It's also um, that energy. So I think there's a simultaneous energy of just how hard um, black and brown people have fought for their rights and that history on right alongside of those people holding all the power and all the money, um, continuously getting in the way of progress for them, just reinventing slavery in a way, and yet they still manage to build something that they can stand on, and they still manage to climb the mountain and see the vision of what life could be. Let's see what's in the sky. Okay, we have the Daughter of Wands. So the Daughter of Wands is, if in this deck, if you put it on its side, it's a infinity. So there's an energy of as you sow, so shall you reap. The Daughter of Wands is good news, right? It's the Page of Wands. We have the wand here sprouting flowers, so we know that something is flowering, but it's new, it's young, and so it needs protection and it needs nurturance. And so things are changing, and this is a sea change, so to speak. But it's going to need a lot of protection and a lot of nurturing, and that's what we're all going to have to keep it in the front, in the forefront of our consciousness. Let's see the immediate future. Okay, so in the immediate future, we have um, the Four of Wands. This says to me of focus. This is an energy of focus. I had a bird just like almost like bang into us. Would have been cute, right? Get hit with a bird. Anyway, uh, and again, there's this sense of enclosement. Like it's enclosed. Spirit is enclosed, and to a certain extent protected. So there's this energy, and four is an energy of building, and so we have a core spiritual sort of flame here that is that we can build upon, but we have to make sure the flame doesn't go out, right? Just like when you're trying to start a fire, you take that match and you light the match, and you have to protect it until everything can catch fire, and then you don't have to worry about it blowing out, right? So that's the energy here. So I see a real hyper focus over the next six weeks on these issues. Um, and what's interesting about this is George Floyd, had he, let me think now, 24. No, wait a minute. This vibration is important for him. Um, in the numerology, I did his numerology, and I'm going to share it with you guys. I just have to sort of organize it so I can share it in in an in an organized way, so you'll understand what I'm trying to say. But one of his major numbers for the rest of his life, that began when he turned 46, was a 30 over 3 vibration, and that's the Four of Wands, and it has to do with the throat chakra. It has to do with having your voice heard, and so say his name, say his name. His name isn't going anywhere, and his voice will be heard through the people that loved him and through the people he inspired, which is all of us, right? Um, how this is seen from the outside, we have the Emperor card. The Emperor is about dominion. It's also a four, so it's a building vibration. I think that the people outside of the United States do see this as a change, and perhaps could cause a change in leadership. The domestic situation, okay. This is the Two of Wands. This is people coming together, heads, putting your heads together, coming from different places, and yet still being able to agree on principles. So that's actually very good. Um, it's a it's a fire vibration. It's an Aries vibration, and so that's about new beginnings. Excuse me. That is water, in case you were wondering. Hopes and fears. The moon. Um, I think it's people are afraid of riots and lunacy. If in fact the police or the bit we'll call them the bad apples, which it's not just bad apples, it's a whole sort of structure. I mean, yes, most police are okay, but and there are jerks, but the system itself is so broken that even the good people have a hard time functioning in the system, I think so. But I think the fear is that uh, another incident like this, perhaps it won't be as peaceful, right? And the chances of another incident like this happening are pretty good, because no matter what's going on, the issues, the problems haven't been solved, and the people who perpetrate this kind of stuff, I don't think they really give a crap. They're gonna, go down to the end, waving their flag of whatever that is, hate, um, disregard, belief in a broken system, whatever that is. Let's see the outcome. Ah, the Wheel of Fortune. Yes, yes, another wheel, another wheel. So the Wheel of Fortune is about change. It is about those who are on top moving down, those who are on the bottom moving up. This is a change. This is going to make a difference in the life of brown and black people. Um, and perhaps along with them the working class, the perhaps the white working class. I watched a really good interview on Democracy Now. If you have an opportunity to see it, the professor's name was Kahil Gibran Muhammad. I can't remember where he was from. What he was a professor. I can't remember where he does his professorship. I think it might have been in New York somewhere. Um, but he was talking about policing and how it started, and it's actually not just it's policing of the working class to make sure that they go to work so that the people who depend on the working class can live their lives. And the working class would have been the black, the brown, and the poor whites. But then the whites started getting into the police force. And so it became more stratified as far as when it came to race, right? So that was very interesting. It's a very interesting art thing if you can watch it. Um, so I would say that the answer to my question is this really going to change things for black and brown people? Yes. Is it going to be immediate? No. We're going to have to protect them. We're going to have to really keep it in. We're going to have to stay on this. When you see something going on, videotape it. That seems to be the only thing that really helps these things. So I would say that that's something that we all have to do. We all have to make sure we videotape these situations. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I'm hearing voices. I think there's somebody in my neighbor's yard. Why am I hearing voices? It's not spirit. I would know. All right, guys, like and subscribe. And I'm going to do a couple more readings if you don't mind me doing them all flushed and curly haired. Excuse me. Pollen. Pollen, really. Okay, guys, take care.